Memories of Ice by Steven Erikson is the third book of the Malazan Book of the Fallen fantasy series. This one is a direct sequel to the first one, so a lot of people were jarred by the this book and the second book, Deadhouse Gates, happened at the same time, but Deadhouse Gates explores mostly new characters, so you're kind of like going like, huh? So this one is about One Arm's host. Dujek, One Arm, and Whiskey Jack have been outlawed by the Empress, probably for whatever reason. Anyways, those two and their bridge burners and all their ex-Malazan army is now teaming up with the people that they have been at war with for many years. So Caladan Brood, and Anomander Rake, the Tistandi, and the Rivi, and the going to also try to barter a truce with the Barghast as well, to create a gigantic fighting force to repel the Pannion Domin, which is this religious sect down south, I guess, of Genebacus. But they're basically trying to come up and overtake the rest of the continents under religious zealotry. And of course, there are secrets, among that. So this novel is really large and ambitious. It's, look at it. It's thick. It's a good 400 pages longer than, or maybe even more actually. It's like almost 1,200 pages. So it's definitely more than twice the size of the other first two books. But I really like this book though. Length doesn't matter to me as long as the book is good. That's all that matters. Like when a Christopher Nolan movie comes out, I don't go, oh, it's going to be almost 3 hours. I look forward to it because, if you have a long story, as long as it's good, it doesn't matter. And this story is well paced. Most of it's sort of a build-up of this alliance that they're trying to build up in order to face the Pannion Domin. However, the Pannion forces have already sort of converged and they're planning to attack a certain strangle point on the map. If they're able to take the city of Capustan, then they'll be able to use that as a launching point for further invasions. So it's up to One Arm's host and this new alliance in order to team up in order to take down before they can basically get a foothold on this new continent of Genebacus. So there's a lot more character development this time around. I noticed that there was a flashback that gives you pretty much the origin of one of the most powerful characters in the book. There's a lot of new things going on, such as the rebirth of a certain character, and they're back, and they have new forces. You get some more background about the Talani Mass. You also have a lot of draining battle sequences. There's a lot of battle sequences in this book. I think my favorite aspect has to be a new character, Lady Envy. She's like this sort of pompous, sort of immortal character who shows up and has her own agenda to do whatever she wants. She's hilarious. I loved every aspect. It's very epic. She's very powerful in her own right, so she can do whatever she wants, and she sort of just throws a wrench into the main force's plan because the alliance is trying to get certain forces here and there. There's a lot of hilarious female characters in this book, from a Barghast barbarian who likes to lay with every man she sees, Lady Envy herself, of course, and it's just those two. There might be a few others, but there's so many characters in this book. A lot of people get more development or things happening, like Captain Paran ends up having a new role, and of course there's the return of Quick Ben, and we get some more sort of plot elements that are sort of setting down the groundwork for future sequels, but not too much sequel baiting. This story also feels a little bit rushed at the end though. After the big battle at Capustan, they sort of keep going, and I was getting worried because I was getting to page 1,000, and I'm like, wow, you got to end up everything in under 200 pages, and there's supposed to be one more big battle going on, and I was just sitting there going like, uh-oh, it felt a little rushed, and it wasn't completely, utterly satisfying, but it did have an ending for this sort of chapter of the Malazan Book of the Fallen series. Overall, though, I was riveted. It was really enjoyable. I liked the world building. There's a lot more stuff going on, new directions to put different characters in. They're going on different paths here and there. And they also introduce more sort of world building for certain tribes like the Rivi and the Barghast. They still haven't given us too much on the Moranth, though. I'm still waiting for that sort of, you know, like, how do they get the quarrels? You know, how do they ride them? You know, like, do they raise them? Do they raise these giant bug things? And that'd be cool to see in a future installment. But overall, yes, I will definitely check out the next one for sure. In fact, I think I bought it recently from a thrift shop. So I will continue reading the Malazan book series. I'm quite endeavored to finish off all 10 books, and then we'll see about the others. So those are my thoughts on Memories of Ice. If I had to give it a rating, I give Memories of Ice a 4 out of 5.